Hi, it's Soni again, and I'm running my mouth as usual. Okay. Uh, this is, again, part of the relationship series that I'm doing. And this one, we're going to want to talk about heartbreak. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Soni Weiss, and I'm a transpersonal coach, a metaphysician, past life regressionist, uh, clinical hypnotherapist, teacher, and I'm in my teaching mode today. So we're going to do some of this. If you want more information about me, go to my website, soniweiss.com. Lots of stuff up there, credentials, whatever, and how you can get hold of me in case you find that I might be able to help you, because I like to do this. Okay, what I would like to talk about is heartbreak. It's a relationship role. It's part of the game that we play in relationships. And it's a negative role, heartbreak. And heartbreak comes from unwillingness to accept what is. Heartbreak always comes from unwillingness to accept what is. Keep that phrase in your mind, because you're going to find it can be really helpful. But heartbreak comes from rejection. When we feel rejected. And the reason that we feel rejected is because the other person is not willing or capable of fulfilling our needs in the way that we want them filled. May not be that they can't fulfill needs, it's not the way that we want it. And this comes from, again, going back into your childhood where we didn't get our needs fulfilled because maybe our parents couldn't do them. You know, as I say, I'm going to repeat this over and over again. You can't teach what you don't have. You can't give what you don't have. And so many of us who came up in screwed up families, we're still stuck back there. We're still stuck back there. And we don't see that our parents were just as screwed up as we are. You know, I think half the world's screwed up. If you weren't, you probably wouldn't be here. But, you know, my litmus test is, are you functional? That's what's important. Are you functional? To what degree can we function? And so my job is to help you function better. That's what people come to me for. But heartbreak really, really hurts. And sometimes it's a role that a person will play in their entire life. They go from one heartbreak situation to another because they're trying to fix something there in the past, okay? And they're asking this other individual to fulfill their needs, to make them feel good about themselves and their self-esteem, when this person can't do that, won't do that. Could be both. But those of us that have this repeated pattern of relationships that don't hack it, that we can't get into it. It's because, well, always because we don't want to get hurt. And we're trying to keep ourselves from being hurt. But heartbreak is a way of manipulating also the other person. If you don't do, you know, what I want, I'm going to be hurt. You can break my heart, and I want you to feel bad about it. You know, you broke my heart. Now I'm going to shame and guilt you on top of that, and try and manipulate you for this. And so it's totally dishonest place to do. I've done it, and every one of us have done it. But and we will get our heart broken at some point, particularly when you're young and you don't realize you're going to get through this type of thing. But if you are older in a relationship, certainly, and you have a pattern, then we want to try to break that pattern. And when we have heartbreak, we put up walls. Walls don't do anything. Walls do not protect us. We think they protect us, but what walls do is they keep us away from getting loved. And people who are in heartbreak, they've been hurt so many times that they put the walls up so they can't receive. They can't receive. They're always got this wall up, and they're cautious about that because they don't want their heart broken again. So they're not authentic. They're not vulnerable, and there's no way you can be in a fulfilling, loving relationship without being vulnerable. And hell, that's hard. Believe me, I know that's hard. And I'm not saying that you don't feel pain and it's not genuine pain. But what I am saying is we set ourselves up for this rejection because we aren't authentic, we aren't vulnerable, and the other person is going to feel manipulated in the situation because you've got your wall up. So you can't get through. You're not receiving. I'll give my love to you, but you're not going to receive. You're going to put your wall up because you don't want to be hurt, because you've been hurt before. And you're not giving the other guy a chance to really love you because you're emotionally unavailable to them when you have heartbreak. And what we need to do in these situations, if we have these patterns that we keep running away from, because if you have a history of heartbreak, you're going to not get too far into a relationship, and you're going to push the other guy back, and you're going to be doing a lot of rejecting. You reject the other person first before they can reject you, because now you think you can control the amount of pain that's in your life. Well, you can, I guess, to a certain degree, because it's easier to not get into a relationship too far so you can't reject. It's better if I reject you. Let me reject you. Then I can control the amount of pain that I have. And then I can say, well, it was them. It's not something wrong with me. Or I like the line a lot that says, I don't want to hurt you. So I'm going to break this up now, and I'm going to reject you so I don't hurt you, because I don't want to be responsible for your pain. Well, I want to let everybody know here, right now, we are all responsible for our own pain. And although you can reject somebody and they may have pain, but to the degree that it is their responsibility. And if you're healthy, then you are not going to make somebody else responsible to make you happy, okay? And so if somebody's trying to guilt you and manipulate you by saying, oh, you're breaking my heart, you got to say, I'm really sorry that you feel that way, but I need to take care of myself too. And not accept that other person's pain. And the second thing is you can't use that as an excuse not to try and work out a relationship either. Because what happens, you'll find if you are a person who has a pattern of heartbreak, if you have the courage, and hell, it takes courage. I'm not saying it doesn't. Jesus, these things are frightening. They're frightening to many of us who have been emotionally challenged throughout our lives. See, these are terrifying things because we think we're going to lose ourselves. But if you have this pattern of heartbreak in one relationship after another, it takes courage to go in there and be honest and move forward. And if the other guy's rejecting you, or you realize that you're doing the rejecting, you're doing something that's in there, to move forward with love and say, hey, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about this situation. What can we do? What can we work out? How can we communicate so that both of us get our needs met? Reasonable? Okay. Because relationships are negotiations. If you think, that Prince Charming is going to come along, or that, that beautiful princess out there, and suddenly everything is going to be fantastic, you are setting yourself up for disillusionment. That first, couple of months, and we've got, all the hormones are kicking in, and this is fantastic, and we really, we're into each other, and there's lots of lust. I'm big on lust. I like lust. But after 18 months or so, you're going to kick into reality, and this is where real relationships are made. When you start negotiating with each other and saying, okay, how can we work this out so that your needs get met, my needs get met, and I can support you. And yes, I understand, that you've had problems, but I'm not going to betray you, because heartbreak is based on abandonment and betrayal, where you've been abandoned or betrayal before. And sometimes we bring this pattern in from past lives. And we're working on that too. So if we've been betrayed, we are not going to have good self-esteem. And it all goes back to the same thing, is that we have to learn how to be healthy and strong self-esteem so that we can handle some rejection. Because you were going to get rejected, because the other guy has needs of his own. Sometimes maybe they're protecting themselves. That's true, but you work it out. That's what you got to do, is you got to work it out and have reasonable expectations, and know that there's going to be some pain in this. But hell, you ever had any growth that didn't have pain? Okay, but look at your pattern. I mean, if every one of your relationships turns out to be a heartbreak, you're probably emotionally not available to begin with. You want to talk about it some more? Go to my website. Phone number's up there. We'll chat. Off button. Where's your off button?